how would you like to know the 5 steps how to achieve an amazing result? And today we have Rachel, which is from United Kingdom, Nottingham. Yeah, we need more people from Europe and United Kingdom in the broadcast. And Rachel, she's the founder of Elevar. Oh, I like it. A leadership development consultancy helping high performing people lead better, live better, and they love what they do. So, down her commercial roots and background in leadership psychology, Rachel worked with senior leaders and elite performers to build sustainable high performance without burnout. So, Rachel, tell us, what are the 5 steps that people should be doing in order to achieve an amazing results?
Welcome to Entrepreneurs Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas. Interviews with world's most influential entrepreneurs that share tips about how to grow your business exponentially. Charismatic speaking, leadership, branding, marketing strategies designed to help you monetize your knowledge, find true happiness, and manifest your goals and dreams.
Well, firstly, Harry, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm super excited to be here. I love the show. I love the YouTube channel, and it is just such a delight to be here with you. So thank you so much. My 5-step formula for achieving those extraordinary results. Well, I'm going to be a little bit loose on this, in the sense that I'm going to talk about 4 R's. 4 R's. But arguably one of them has 2 versions, so we can make this 5. I think we can make it fit the 5. So I have been working with a guy called Chris Beattie. He is a professor of evolutionary anthropology and cognition and neuroscience at Oxford and Kent universities here in the UK.
Wow.
So for the last 20 years, he's been studying the relationship between mood, emotion, and high performance. And equally, for the last 20 years, I have been healthily obsessed with understanding what is it that makes people successful, happy, and fulfilled, and how do they get there? And I haven't seen a better model than Chris's 4R model. So that's what I wanted to share with you and your listeners today. So those 4 R's are, and I will put these in context in just a minute, but they are recognize, restore, resolve, and regulate. And that last one, the regulate one, you can do that in healthy ways, and you can also do it unconsciously and in habitual ways, which can lead to some challenges and outcomes and risks that maybe you wouldn't want. So that's where we can get our five things in. But just to put this into some context first, we all operate and we function best and well and at our best when we are in homeostasis. So that is, back to sciencey days, it's basically the parameters within which our body can function well. And there are certain things and feelings are very useful signals to understand how well restored we are, and if we are being triggered at all emotionally, to know, have we got the capacity to really achieve extraordinary results? Have we got the capacity to meet the stress and the demands that's on us? So paying attention to those feelings, and that first R, recognizing if I'm feeling something, what is this feeling and what can I attribute it to? Am I under restored in my mood because I've not slept, or I've not eaten, or I'm at the moment in the UK, we were just talking before, it's extremely hot here in the UK.
Yay! Finally.
Despite we cannot say we have not had a summer this year, but that is impacting people's mood, because temperature
100%. Impact my one. Definitely.
We don't have air conditioning in many houses here in the UK. So it's, that will impact our mood and our energy and our bandwidth to deal with stress. So we need to look at those things and also recognize, well, how much of it could be mood related to those things that impact us internally, and how much could be to do with the external. So this is something or someone that can trigger us emotionally. And what do we then do about it? So the first step is to recognize we are feeling something, recognize that those feelings are useful signals, and what can it tell us about our own biology and our own ability to be able to show up and perform at our absolute best.
Brilliant. So what's the next step then?
Well, once you've recognized it, understanding how much of it is to do with restoration and mood. So all the stuff your grandma used to tell you, have you slept? Have you eaten well? Have you hydrated? Have you been out for a walk? Have you been in nature recently? Have you spent time with people who you love and care about and who care about you? And it's not just about doing this. I know that Harry, you work with a lot of high achievers, and it's not just about doing this and getting through the day or through the week or to the next holiday, but how are we integrating that restoration into our habits and our working day and life so that we are constantly topping up our batteries? I often think people pay more attention. I'm waving a phone for those of you who are listening on audio and can't see. We often pay more attention to making sure these things are charged up, and we pay less attention and respect to making sure that we are charged up. So if it's mood related, you want to restore, and what are your restorative practices that you integrate into your day and that you have in your life so that you can make sure that you have got that capacity and that energy to show up at your best and create those extraordinary results. So if it's mood, it's restore. Now, the third R is if it's emotion related, and that's we resolve. If it's emotional related, something or someone has triggered us. And Chris will often talk to me about how, as human beings, we've evolved, and our ancestors that prioritized social needs being met, such as certainty or clarity, that we knew where our resources and our next meal might be coming from, equity, that we were treated fairly, that we feel like we have a sense of value or status or belonging, that we have autonomy to be able to deal with the things that we want to deal with and we need to deal with in the way we want to deal with them, and that we feel included in our tribes or in our families or in our workplaces. Our ancestors that prioritize those feelings and those needs being met were the ones that survived. And so we don't operate in a vacuum as human beings. There are people and things that trigger those 5 needs all the time in the workplace and beyond. And so recognizing if you're being triggered and one of those needs perhaps isn't being met, and then working to resolve those. If it's something that's causing that to be triggered, how do you fix it? If it's someone, how can you have that conversation with them to resolve it? Not always easy. And resolution isn't always possible. But that would lead us to our 4th R. I'm going to pause for a minute, Harry. I've been talking long enough. Does any of that resonate with you?
Yeah, 100%. We want to get the 4 steps 100%, and from this broadcast, we believe that all the entrepreneurs that should be healthy, wealthy, and happy, right? And you were talking about how can the weather influence in the mood, and I go a little bit more further, where building a company and becoming an entrepreneur, the more you start to grow this company, and you are at the beginning only yourself, and you need to do the marketing, you need to do the sales, you need to find the clients, and it's too much responsibility, and all these negative emotions sometimes become physical pain, and people can end up with cancer, with heart attack, with depression. So there are the other day somebody was commenting that he opened a business. Friend was commenting that his friend opened a business and he had a really bad experience, lost a lot of money, and the guy now is like just quiet. It's like he doesn't want to do any business, he doesn't want to do anything. He just went switch off, and he's on the corner there, and and just in that space where you kind of check out, and I don't want to do anything with this. And so the mindset and the results are key. Because at the end of the day, the success is in your mind. And you were saying something really important, that all of us have the capacity to be successful, to achieve our goals. I agree 100%, because when we are babies, all of us learn how to walk, and no, there was nobody in our mind telling us that walking was not possible, that you're not good enough, that so we fall, and eventually all of us will walk. I never met anybody that never learned to walk. So the point of the story is that when we are born, our cycle of possibility is endless. Everything is possible for us. Any goal that we have in our mind is possible, and it doesn't matter how many rejections we have. We naturally achieve this goal. We are winners by default, from so many spam, only us make it. So what happened in Rachel, when if by default we are winners, if by default we are high performers, if by default we are the only one that make out of the millions and millions of us spent to win the battle, and then we are babies, and we continue unstoppable, like this podcast, which we okay, let's walk, and we learn how to walk, and everything is possible. So what happening with the human beings, that when we grow up, uh, our circle of possibility kind of reduces and reduces and reduces and reduces, that now you said to the people, okay, you can open your own business, you can be your own boss, you can spend more time with your family and friends, you can have a wonderful life, you can travel around the world. They will tell you, Harry, you know what, this is not possible. So what message do you have for our entrepreneurs, for our audience? What's happening with our cycle of possibility, which is embedding the performance, that the more we grow old, the less thing we believe that they are possible, and we believe that we cannot achieve our goals. So what's your point of view on all this?
Well, there's a couple of things I'd love to speak to in this and what you said. I think the first thing for me is one of the most valuable lessons that I learned in the 20 years that I said I've been working. This is 10 years that I've had my business.
20 years, wow.
Yeah. And so one of the most valuable lessons that I learned is that mindset isn't everything. It's incredibly important. And within these 4 R's, what we're talking about here is, if you are trying to engage that executive part of your brain and do the positive reframing and the mindset piece on an under restored mood, with low sleep or ongoing low sleep, or where you've not eaten, or you've got other things emotionally that are triggering you, and you haven't done that restoration and you haven't done that resolution, it's like pushing water up a hill. And you can do it. You absolutely can do it. I was the master at doing that, not just for weeks or months, but I kept habitually doing that. And I'll talk about this. This is the 4th R, it's the regulate. I habitually regulated myself to the point where my body collapsed, and instead of walking out of my glass fronted office to go into the boardroom, I found myself lying on the floor one afternoon, staring up at the ceiling tiles, unable to breathe, unable to think, because my body had gone time out. Biologically, I had stressed it enough that it was saying, I've had enough. And so for me, that was one. And just so to reassure people, I later realized it was a panic attack, and I recovered from that. But just to say that mindset is so critical, and it's a huge part, the practical psychology of the work that I do. But it must be, and this is so important, I think, for entrepreneurs, because as you mentioned, Harry, we are sometimes wearing all of the hats, especially when we're starting a business and you're juggling so much. And I had a point in my business, thankfully it was a number of years ago now, where I lost 95% of my business overnight. And rebuilding a better
Wow.
business.
Wow.
I know, and making that more sustainable, not only for the business, but also for me, as like has been one of the most rewarding challenges that I think I've ever overcome. But my point there really is we've got to respect the biology and the body as well as the psychology. The two absolutely kind of go together, which I know we all know and we all get, but I think it's really easy for us to.
No, we don't because I can tell you for sure that I was young, and when I started to do my first business, I think in UK, in London, it was a rent property business, and I was well, not that young, but uh, in my late 20s. I remember that back then, all I want to do is make money and make millions, and I want to make money. That's all I want to do. Yeah. And today, when everybody comes and share with me a business opportunity, I share my priorities now, and I'm evaluating how this project is gonna affect my health. And now, for me, it's more important to be healthy, to be happy, right? And so, as you advance in experience, you realize. I remember that back on the day, if you stay working like 12 hours, 14 hours without sleeping, you were the king of the company. You see, I remember my employees tell me, wow, how are you working so hard? And I'm like, what? And now I'm thinking there is no way for any business in this planet that I'm gonna spend 14 hours working without resting and affecting my body and my health. So priority change, Rachel. Yeah, and have to,
Absolutely.
have to do a lot with the mindset that you have, because if you have a burnout, if you start to be overweight, you can see me. I love to eat. I and then I'm a restaurant eating out human being. Yeah, and I love food, and so I had to, even this year. I lost few pounds. Lost. I've been taking care of our health, because this also have to be is directly related with the performance and with your health and with your mental health as well. So what are, what can you share with people listening this podcast, that they are workaholic, they have the next top, and they have Monday to Sunday? Because I remember when I was working these 14 hours, now looking back, it was not 14 hours. I remember effective one maybe was 4 or 6. The rest is just worrying, concern, how gonna solve this problem, I'm stuck. And I was pretending I was working, but I was not effective. I was in front of the computer, stuck with the problem that I I couldn't find the solution. However, I discovered later in my life that walking, for example, I walk a lot from used to live for close to Marbellage there, and I can walk up from Marbellage to Liverpool Street
Lovely.
and back. And walking is amazing. And from Hyde Park, very close to Hyde Park, so I love to walk and dance salsa there in the park in Hyde Park, and Regent Park as well. It's close. And walking, uh, you go out for a walk and you come back, or you sleep the problem, then you come back next day, and guess what, the solution come to you easier than you staying overnight thinking and thinking and thinking. And I'm thinking, how come I'm going to be walking in the park if I had this problem that I had to solve today? Well, the solution in front of the computer is not going to come. This, Rachel, with experience, because who gonna know that switching off is it could be a great point, right? Because your mental health. So tell us a little bit more about this. What can you tell to the workaholics listening this broadcast
Well, first of all, I think I want to say I
from
am.
performance point of view? Because I
Yeah,
thought I thought that was
I,
a great performance, working 12, 14 hours a day. Yeah.
yeah. So I
And
empathize
people
with.
clapping also. Wow, you're amazing. And
So I empathize with this, and I get it, because I've absolutely been there and been in that place where my solution to everything was to work harder
To
and
work
harder.
harder and harder.
And I think
Welcome to the club.
there's a
Been there
number of
also.
there's a number of things. So I think we have to recognize that as people who like to achieve and get things done and make a difference and lead in the world, there is a dopamine hit when we get the thing done, when the project gets delivered, when we achieve that certain thing, and that makes us feel good, and it can drive what is really quite an addictive behavior. And so I think recognizing that is really important. I think the other thing is that often with high achievers, they tend to be in environments with other high achievers, which then perpetuates like some of those behaviors as well, and can drive as well some anxiety and some depression if things aren't going well, and you get that withdrawal, as you were describing from one of the people that you said you were talking with earlier. So what can we do? I think you've said it already, which is that rest is not the reward. Rest is the key input into our performance to be able to get those extraordinary results. And rest should not be something that, oh, it's fine, I'm just going to pay the price until I get to the weekend or until I get to my next holiday. But how are we building that rest into our daily work so that we are performing at our best? I had a coaching client the other day who, he's a keen cyclist, and he messaged me with such enthusiasm. He's a senior leader in an organization, and he said, Rachel, I get it now. I challenged him, instead of sitting at his desk, to get out on his bike. And yes, it was the middle of the day. And yes, he had a pressing problem. And yes, it felt counterintuitive for him to leave the pressing problem and the challenge and to get out on his bike. But he did. And when he came back, his performance was so much better. His creativity, his clarity, his motivation was all at another level because he had done that. So rest is not the reward. Rest is the input into the performance, and looking for ways that, like you said, Harry, whether it's just getting out and doing a walk around the block. But here's the thing I do know: at the moment where it feels like you can't take that time, that's when you must take that time.
Yeah, and we work a lot with that, Rachel. And one of the main things that why because people might be listening and say, "Oh my God, Rachel, what she's doing?" Imagine I'm in the office and I have a problem that I need to solve, and Harry and Rachel telling us to get out the office and have some rest and come back, and your problem will be solved. And maybe our listening, they say, "Oh my God, this Harry and Rachel, these people are crazy." So, but this is how it works, right? When you're stuck in a situation, Rachel, we have the best thing that we can do is change our environment, because if we change our environment, we change our state. Okay, somehow this office, you have white walls. This is where the point of discussion has been. This is where everybody comes to see you to ask if you solve this problem. This is the boss is there in the corner and you're stuck here, and the boss is looking for you, waiting for you to solve the problem to come and tell him, and you are with all this stress and that energy. And guess what happened? You get out there, you take your bicycle, and let's suppose that you're in London. Now you can ride your bike or you can go to a park, and now you start to see green. You change your environment, you're changing your state. Because when you move, I do that because of working. Yeah, the motion, emotions that are created by motion. So when you move, when you change your environment, now you change your state, and because you change your state, you change the result. Is as simple as this. However, it takes a lot to understand, because I'm same like you, Rachel. We're talking from experience, because I've been in the other in the other space that you work, and you are like, and things are not moving, and then you decide to work more, and things move less, and you don't know what's happening, and to the point that you can even get burnout, or you can have a panic attack because the thing keep escalating and escalating. So changing your environment, changing your state, Rachel, is amazing. Even you, when you came to this podcast, you come in smiling, positive. Harry, I'm so happy to be in the podcast. You see, now that positive state, yeah, is a very good indicator that we're gonna have an amazing result in this broadcast. That we're gonna have a wonderful interview. So,
If
uh,
I if
go
I
ahead.
may,
Yeah,
just
absolutely. You are the queen of this. I'm taking note.
No, well, no, because because you're absolutely right, and I think you've also done work with Tony Robbins as well, and his triad where he talks about motion is emotion. So our physiology, our focus, and our language are such key important aspects to this. And you're right, because in terms of the 4 R's that I've been talking to, changing our own state and being able to regulate ourselves in that way so we can show up in a more resourceful state to deal with whatever the challenges are is really, really super useful. Something that I wanted to just quickly share with listeners was that if you're looking to restore emotionally, you can think of it like 3 different environments that you can go to. And the great thing, and I'll quickly talk through each of those 3 environments, but the great thing about these 3 environments is that you can do them together as well. So the first would be our biological environment. So this is things like our hydration and our nutrition and then you've got our physical environment, which
Hold
is
on, Rachel. Can we expand a little bit in this one because it's very important? Very important.
Yes,
Let's open before you continue. We were talking about how to get into a great state, and you talk something that even look, we didn't even get out of the office, we didn't even get out of there, and you
you
talking
don't have
about
to. You don't have to
you're
necessarily.
talking about nutrition, yeah. So how do you feel, out to our listeners? How do you feel when you are busy at work and then you go to lunch and then you go and eat a dish with heavy pasta, steak, and potatoes and all this heavy meal, and then you come back to your office? There's no way that, because I hear that 80% of the energy goes to the digestion. So imagine all your energy is digesting this so heavy food. So Rachel, can you expand a little bit in about performance and eating and what we eat? Is this related? How related? How important it is?
So, of course, yes, and it is related. And as part of my sort of history and background, I am a certified health coach, so I can speak a little to that. So one of the things that I would say is what's right for one person is not right for another. So I think we do have to, in many senses, become almost a scientist of ourselves. And I would encourage people to actually experiment with what works, keeping your energy topped up throughout the day. So what kind of meals are working well for you? What kind of regularity of food is working well for you? And of course, I learned over 300 different dietary theories during my time studying as a health coach, and the golden thread that runs through it all, that again we all know, and I'm just paying a reminder service here, is whole natural foods that look like they have either come from the ground or from the plant or the tree or whatever, that or from the animal that they are from. Like, actually, that's the thing. So I would be more interested in listeners tuning in and paying attention to what makes them feel sluggish and what gives them the energy, because it is different for each and every one of us. And the other thing I see, or I used to see when I was doing purely health coaching an awful lot, is hydration. Often people are very dehydrated and don't realize
You
it. So
see?
I know, I know, I know. They'll be drinking the tea or the coffee,
I'm
and
drinking green tea as we speak.
green tea. So it's watching for it is, and it's watching. And again, different people are different. So and they will respond differently to caffeine and so on. But just watching that and being careful that you're not habitually regulating on things like caffeine, because that can become quite it can become quite an abusive cycle where we get people that need the coffee to get going in the morning and then the wine to relax at night. And so just being really mindful of that, because one of the things I learned through the health coaching was nothing tastes or tastes or as good as feeling good feels, and so but working out what's right for you for sure, and that regularity as well. So portion size, what you eat, when you eat, all good things.
Portion size, I have to work on that one.
Yeah. So I trust that. But it's so important so that's one environment, the biological environment. The other two that I've not yet mentioned where we can go to restore. One is the physical environment. So things like nature, daylight, movement, the temperature we've been talking about, very warm at the moment here. Those things will all have the ability to either energize us or, deplete us. And I often find that many of the senior leaders that I work with more in the corporate environments, they will be sat and be quite stationary for long periods of their day, may not necessarily be getting out in daylight and fresh air, and may not be getting out in nature. I came back from holiday in Turkey a few weeks ago, and it was a stark contrast going from the all-inclusive hotel that we were staying at to the following day when we returned home. I took the boys up Kinder Scout, which is one of the highest hills in the Peak District in a national park here in the UK. And being out in nature like that with the natural waterfalls and those open vistas was so good and restorative for my soul. I felt so different. And that was off the back of a week of an all-inclusive holiday in the sunshine, So I think we sometimes forget how important that connection with nature is, whatever that is for you. It might be spending time in your garden, or for you in Hyde Park, Harry. But this is, it's so important. And the third and final environment, and then I know we will move on, but is social. And it's having people within our social circle that we know that we can trust, that will call us out as well as, have our backs. And being able to spend time with those people is also immensely restorative. And I think one of the things that happens a lot to entrepreneurs, we're building our businesses and our focus is so much on there. But what is that support circle like? I've always had coaches and mentors, and I have a wonderful supportive husband as well. And so I have a really, that. And this is something that Tony will talk about, is your tribe. Who have you got around you? Because we don't do this on our own. And so having those important social relationships is really important. And I mentioned that you don't have to do these three in isolation. You could share a great meal with friends outside and be getting all of that in one.
100%. And now performance, or be a high performer, there is a superior state that a lot of people talk about, which is the state of flow, right? When you are, for example, some athletes, they're such a high performer that at that level, in order to win that gold medal, you have to go to superior state of performance, which is some authors call it flow. And there could be a methodology, or could be a path, like Rachel is describing, that if you follow these series of steps that Rachel is describing here, it will get you closer to get to that magic states where gold medalist. I remember Michael Feld. He won one gold medal once, and I was so close to his rival that the only explanation that he won this is because when he's on that pool is above high performing, is in a state, is his mindset, his performance goes to flow. And this is for entrepreneurs is also very important. It doesn't happen out of luck, or you train yourself, you get into your mind, into your head, to achieve this maximum state of performance. So Rachel, any advice that you can share with our audience? And the other thing that I want to share with our listeners is that you see, if you have a high performance coach like Rachel, and Rachel is telling you, okay, you know what, get out the office and take your bike and go out. uh, don't question, well, this is counterproductive, this is whatever, what is going to happen, because you see, it has an explanation. Yeah. So, and the explanation will take an hour. We need to talk about you going to the bicycle because you need to change your states, about the environment, you're going to be moving, you're going to be doing this. So it's important that when we work with experts, right, we try to be coachable, if that's the word, because I stay around a lot of high performance and business leaders. I have coached people that, they are CEOs of organizations that have a whole building, thousands of employees, and sometimes the coaching process with those high performance individuals could be a little bit challenging, right? Because they are in that position that they take all the decision, they know everything. And I always tell them, look, let's do something, let's do the exercise. And then when, if you want to know more and you want to know the reason, then we can have another session, and I'm happy to explain you why was the study behind, right? Because at the end of the day, we want the result, we want the people to perform higher. And for sure, if someone with more than 20 years experience is guiding you and is trying to help you already, clearly they know what they're doing and they're not crazy. Regardless, they're telling you stop and go out to the office. Okay. So Rachel, tell us regarding the flow and regarding how coachable are these high performers. um any comments on that?
Yes, absolutely. A couple of comments on what you've just said there. So this is about sustainable high performance so that you can achieve those extraordinary results over a long period of time. So that is absolutely, whenever I'm working with my clients and with teams, that is what we're talking about. And if you think about high performance athletes, they will take their rest and restoration as seriously as they do their training as well. It's a critical component of it. And I would say to anyone who is questioning this, don't take my word for it. Go out and experiment, and find next time that you feel that you are stuck or feeling overwhelmed, or you're just, you're pushing on through. Try it doesn't have to be a bike ride or a run or anything massive. Just try getting outside and walking around the block, and then come back and see how, and don't take my word for it, but actually practically try and, do what you feel would work for you. It could be 5-star jumps. It could be some squats. It could be going and giving your kids or, your spouse, a cuddle. I don't know. It could be any one of those things, and just, give it a whirl and see what works for you. But to your point,
some people like swimming. Lily, yeah, so relaxing. I like it. I like it. Keep me calm. Don't swim too much, but just being in the water changed my state spectacular. So swimming. Some people do meditation. It's
Yes,
whatever works for you.
absolutely, whatever it
Whatever
is.
makes you happy, whatever you change that state, right?
Yes, absolutely. And to your question about flow states, I think one of the things that has really helped me show up for those key moments of play, which is how oh goodness, the alter ego effect. And I'm just reminding myself, Todd Herman, yes. So this book, I don't know, is that one you've read, Harry?
I no, I haven't. Oh, alter ego. Can you say the title
I
and the
can.
authors from the people that listen in the car?
I certainly can. So it's The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I have found enormously helpful that has got me into that flow state for those, he describes them as key moments of play. So whether that's speaking on a stage, or it's an important critical negotiation in a meeting, or a difficult conversation with a member of the team,
Hmm.
whatever those key moments of play are, he talks about us having an alter ego. He talks about people like Winston Churchill and uh, 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 Martin Luther King also having alter egos, where they would step into that character, that version of themselves. So I have a very clear alter ego for certain things that I'm doing, and it helps me to step into that for those key moments of play. So I show up with the right qualities and behaviors that I want to have within that moment, and so that I can hit that flow in a much easier way.
Yeah, ego is a big thing because uh, we we are entrepreneurs. We have that ego because otherwise we won't be entrepreneurs. We think that we can do better. So now, how to manage and how to surrender that ego and how to come from the space that really want to help people, because I can tell that this amazing job you do for those entrepreneurs, for those high performers, you really I'm really passionate about this, and I can tell this. I've been doing this for a long time already, so I know how passionate you are about your clients can experience something different, especially because you have experienced it yourself. Most of the entrepreneurs we interview, you say, "How you start the business?" Okay, well, Harry, I solve my I have a problem. I solve it for myself, and I try to solve it to others. This is how I started my business. This is how you started your business. And you ask most of the entrepreneurs that have been in similar paths. So because we've been there with that problem, um, and we work out a solution how to come back from that, and we know the value, then we're happy to offer to help other people to solve this problem. And but it's all about performance. It's all about performance, especially if you're in business. You have to be a high performer because you have to to know a little bit about so many things, and you have to produce more than your competition. And the only way that you produce more than your competition if not only becoming high performing yourself, but but enroll your team to become a high performers. This is something that I'm so proud from the team that work with us, because they are so amazing and they perform so well that they're spectacular, right? And I think this is something that we have been focused since we started business. So we don't have so many employees, few, but they are all high performance to be in our team. They are all rock stars,
Wow.
literally rock stars. And then you don't need so many employees. You need a few.
Oh, well, this
Only
is
yeah,
it.
you need a few high performers, because have a lot of employees. I've been there. It creates a lot of headache. Nothing wrong with having a lot of employees, and but if you want to an organization, I remember back in the day in London, we managed to sell over 5 million in our property business, and we were 3 employees and and 2 contractors. But we were 5 people, and all online, all with high performance and everything. And people would think, "Wow, this organization is huge," and no, it wasn't.
No. But, and
uh,
this is what we've been talking about here, not only our individual capacity to be able to show up and get those extraordinary results, but also think about the capacity for your team and what's being left on the table. Because actually, if we aren't regularly restoring and resolving things, and we are regulating all the time, we are leaving immense capacity on the table, and we're not tapping into that. And you know, a friend of mine who I work with at CHX Performance, he said to me the other day, talking about a particular client, and I thought this was a really useful perspective. And that was, what if the 30-hour-a-week version of you was more valuable to your business than the 60, 70-hour-a-week version? That's what we're talking about here in terms of getting those extraordinary results and the capacity. And when you talk about your team, when we focus on how people are feeling, moods and emotions, and it not only does it enable individual performance, but it also enables cultures where people feel seen and heard and engaged and included and understood and trusted. People feel all those things. It's clear, Harry, that you've got a team that feel all of those things. So far from feelings being perhaps what might seem like a bit annoying, or I'm just going to suppress this for a while, I'll deal with that later. They are exceptionally useful signals. They are telling us something about how well restored our body is, or about what's happening externally if something is triggering us. And then that gives us some very useful questions then to go, well, okay, so what do I need to do about it? Do I need to restore? Do I need to resolve? Or is that not possible at the moment? And do I need to regulate and reframe this in some kind of positive way?
So, Rachel, someone is in love with our conversation, how people can find you, how this process work?
Oh, thank you. So best way, I would just love, if this has resonated with you, I would really love just to hear from you. Do connect on LinkedIn. It's Rachael AEL, and it's Edmondson, and it's Clarke with an E. Basically, if there's an extra letter you can add, I've got it in my name. Or you can find me at elevar.co.uk, and that's ELLEVAR.
I love the name, yeah.
Yes,
So
elevate.
yeah, it's similar word in Spanish means elevate, right? To go higher. Rachel,
Yeah.
I think you're amazing. Thank you so much for the broadcast and to share your expertise to our audience. We believe that, again, from this broadcast, we want all the entrepreneurs to be healthy, wealthy, and happy. And in order for that, if you are a high performer when you're working, then you don't need so many hours. You just have to be effective. So you have time to take care of your health, to cook your own food, something I'm doing now. You see, I'm having a lot of fun preparing my own salads and going far to get good ingredients because I have the time. I can do it. And this allows to get a lot of healthy food. Yeah, which is helping me a lot to lose weight and to stay sharp. And then when we have to work, okay, there are very little hours, and we do our best, and we perform high in these few hours, and it's amazing. You have time to spend with your family, time to spend with your friends, time to work effectively, and to work on your mental health, because the performance, um this is a really what we discussed today is fast belief, and we've been there, and just lack of experience and lack of knowledge. That's all. I didn't know who's gonna know. And I remember back in the day, if somebody told me you need to stop working and go to the park, I would tell them you crazy. If you think that I'm gonna close my computer and I'm gonna walk to the park, can you imagine how many clients I have? Do you imagine how many problems I have to solve? Do you know how many things I still have to do? Well, Um, if you have to do too many things, is you are underperforming because hiring the right people to bring the people to your organization, and most of the time it's that ego. I remember that I when I started in business, I have this persona that I'm the big boss. Everybody need to listen what I say. I take all the decisions. And yeah, when you're small, that's fine. But when the company grows, I'm thinking these people are gonna kill me. When I gonna sleep? They all want to speak with me. 177 clients, so many employees, and everybody want to speak to me with me. And I'm thinking these people are gonna kill me when I sleep, because they don't care. They can call me at 1 a.m. because they knew that that I can solve the problem, especially the clients and the employees also. And if I give them 3 a.m. slot, they will call me at 3 a.m. And I'm thinking, number one, they're gonna keep me because I won't be able to sleep, and they don't care that too many. And number two, and they when I work, if all I do is speak on the phone with my clients and with my team, when it's gonna be time for me to do something, I build this business to stay on the phone with everybody, telling me the problems and helping them to solve them. So when we shift the paradigm, and you build a powerful team that is proactive and they can generate solutions for your clients, now you shift that. For that, you need to drop your ego. You need to let that go. That you're not a big deal. You're actually a team member, and your role is develop and create this high performance. This is what you have to do. And true story, one day I arrived to the office, and my general manager told me, Harry, go home, we don't need you. I'm like, what? He
And
said,
that
yeah,
is,
go
you know,
home,
it
go
is a
home, travel the work. In fact,
yeah.
don't come here. You're talking too much to us. You don't let us work. I'm like, what? And who's going to get your paper for the photocopy? And she's, no, we can get our own paper for the photocopy, Harry. Don't worry about it. Just get out
So
of here. We don't need you. And she told me, I will come once a month to tell you what I'm doing with the company. I'm like, okay. So,
there's something that you asked me earlier, and
mhm.
it fits in with what you're saying here, I think. And I just want to encourage anybody that is maybe on this journey to say that it absolutely is possible to have a business and have a life that you love.
100%.
And I class myself as a really successful person because I have the freedom to
I
do
can tell. I can see your happiness, your energy.
what I want, when I
You're
want, with
glowing.
how much I want. And it's like, does that mean that I've achieved all my goals and everything that I want to do? No, of course I have that healthy tension of that dissatisfaction, that there are still things that I want to do and achieve in life, but actually equally immense satisfaction with the freedom that I have right now. And I said to you at the beginning of this podcast, I didn't want to come and talk about making your first million, because actually, no, I can't talk to that from a place of authenticity where I have done that. But I have incredible flexibility with my time, and I have the funds that I want to do the things I want to
And you
do.
do things that you love,
And I do the things that I love. And
and you
so
help the people that you want to help to do
if
something
I'm
amazing for
working
their
with
life.
people, yes, that I want to work with, spending my time with it. So I would just
Why you want to? Who wants to spend time with someone that pay you a lot of money and is, a pain? Who
yeah.
wants that in their life?
No, well, exactly. It's not worth it. It's like selling your soul.
No, to bring this energy to
It's
your
not
life,
worth
there is no money in the world that we pay this. No way,
no,
no in a
no.
million times. So, bottom
So
line,
I
Rachel.
just want to
Yes,
leave people with that really, like positive, yes, it is possible and you can.
100%.
Yeah, and it
And
really does mean that you are performing and paying attention to the little things. The little things like getting to bed at a regular, as boring as this sounds, getting to
I'm doing
bed at
it. I'm doing it.
getting the sleep, they're eating good meals, spending time with those people that you like. Those are
I'm
the
doing it lately, going to bed early, which is I'm a big fan of watching movies in the evening and eating popcorns. Oh, I used to be. Now I have to
I'm
be more
in that
discipline,
mindset too.
and going to bed early. And I wake up in the morning fresh, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Sometimes when we manage our own time, we get out of control of this, and and we have to have some discipline, because in order to our body perform better. And if you go to bed, I'm going to bed now between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. Sounds so boring in the evening, but guess what? When you wake up, I'm waking up 6:30. I'm waking up 6:30 without an alarm clock. Can you believe this? I never thought that that would be possible in my life ever,
Your
because
body's in
I
rhythm.
usually used to wake up 11 a.m. Yeah. So and go to bed at 3 or 4, eating popcorns and watching Netflix.
Your
Spent a lot of
body's
years doing
responding.
this. Yeah. And I became very overweight clearly, because if you eating popcorn at 3 a.m. watching Netflix, and this is you're gonna gain weight, guarantee.
Yeah.
So there is no escape out of this, and you don't perform well. You don't perform well when you wake up at 11 a.m. I can tell you that you have you wake up and you feel a bit tired, and you don't even know why, because you slept sometimes 8 or 9 hours, but still you wake up at 11 a.m., 1 p.m. um, you kind of tired, right? And then you cannot sleep early, because you won't get sleep until it's late. So again, you go to watch movies, to this, to that. And the other thing, Rachel, that I want to conclude, to enhance here, is that what is the most important, that having $1 million in the bank account, have a $1 million lifestyle, right? And what is $1 million lifestyle? We call it, I call it a millionaire lifestyle. And this millionaire lifestyle have nothing to have a million in your bank account. But you know what has to do? Number one, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You see how you're gonna, when you're coming from this space, that you don't have to prove anything to anybody anymore. The freedom and the peace and the good energy you're gonna have in your life, you don't get sick, because you don't stress. You don't have to prove anything to anybody anymore, and that's the end of it. And second, you do the things that you love, which is priceless, which is, for example, clients. I only, I surround all my day with entrepreneurs, and high successful entrepreneurs. I spend my days with them, a lot of time with them, talking about business, talking about this, talking about that. I like these people, and they are people that I like, and I want to be around with, and makes me happy. So you can create your own environment where you only work with people that you like.
Yeah.
And you, if you don't like someone, you don't have to work with it, because you don't need it, because you don't need to prove anything to anybody. And you don't need to be a big shot, a big deal, to prove, right, that you're the big deal. No, on the other hand, you coming from this space, you don't have to prove to anything to anybody. You're gonna be healthier, you're gonna be happy. Your clients, they gonna pay you with different currency, which is love, appreciation, which is actually better than money. You don't get sick. They send you so many positive energy when we are doing this kind of work. The people in the street in London, in the metro, Harry, how are you, man? I saw your conference. I saw you, man. I did that and I changed my life. Look, this is my family. And I'm, which conference? How you recognize me? Well, I always dress proper like this. So obviously in the metro, sometime in the morning, when I have the early meeting occasionally, that happened.
No.
And sometimes I write to my house and I'm thinking, I can't believe that I say something that I don't even remember which event it was and when it was. And that guy took it, did it, and it made a huge impact for himself, for his family, and in that moment in the metro, I'm so embarrassed, so this guy taking picture and doing this, and everybody looking at me, and I'm like, it's a little bit of an awkward situation. But then I arrive at home and I say, wow, that's amazing. And these people say, I wish you well, and that energy. Um,
Money to me is just a form of
pres-
energy. energy in a way, and
Mhm.
there are other
All
ways.
this weight of energy, that love, appreciation.
Energetic exchange. And for
People are
me,
sending to you. People send that to you. You don't get sick. I don't know how it works, but it's
yeah,
actually happening. You
and it's
don't.
like if you have a good energetic exchange,
Mhm,
that's really, really important. I
mhm,
do
absolutely.
I do some work with social enterprises.
Mhm, mhm.
They are, all my clients are amazing. I love all of them, and I do vet them before I decide to take. They are all amazing. But
Social enterprise, amazing. They're happy making a great difference to a community.
on different terms because of the work that they do and who they are and that difference that they make in the world, because that's an energetic exchange with me
Mhm.
that is working not just on a monetary level but on other levels as
And make an
well.
impact in the community. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Rachel. You're amazing. And for all of you following the broadcast, see you in our next episode for Entrepreneurs and Leaders. Bye for now.
Follow us for more on charismatic speaking, leadership, exponential business growth, branding, marketing, strategies designed to help you monetize your knowledge, find true happiness, and manifest your goals and dreams.